Hey guys, it's Caitlin here. I just wanted to show you a few of my drawing programs. I'm going to go over Paint Tool Sai, which is what's open right now, Autodesk Sketchbook Express, and Art Rage Studio. Well, let's start with Sai. Sai is a interesting program, costs 56 US dollars or 5,200 yen. It's a very intuitive program. It has a lot of the same features that Photoshop does, except it's, I believe, more intuitive. A lot of artists will learn how to use Photoshop and they won't like to use Sai. But the thing is, I've realized that, and I've tried Sai. Well, I do most of my work in Sai. I've tried Photoshop, Adobe Illustrator, and I'll be honest, I really just like Sai better. Because personally, you get almost everything that Photoshop and Illustrator give you. You get everything they give you and so much more. Because, like, if you really think about it, it's in a much more intuitive format, and a lot of artists that started with Photoshop can't use Sai because of the way Photoshop, or in other softwares, the way they can't use those softwares because Photoshop has made them only be able to use Photoshop. There's a lot of issues with Photoshop, like it's not compatible with a lot of different other softwares like Sai, and well, they think it's not compatible with softwares like Sai. You can sometimes have trouble with it being compatible with certain files, but Sai's compatible with almost every other drawing software that I know of. It's even compatible with Adobe Photoshop. You can save things as a whole bunch of styles. Sai PSD, which is Photoshop files, bitmap images, JPEGs, PNGs, TGAs, and the list will go on. It has a lot of intuitive buttons. You can make your own brushes. You can even learn from other artists, and take their brush designs and make them your own. And there's huge communities all about creating brushes and other things just for Sai. And a lot of things about Sai are really intuitive. Like if I want to go into different windows, there's a lot of different settings. There's the color wheel, the RGB scale, the hue saturation value scale. What's that scale? I forget this scale. This is the color mixer. That's the swatches, and that's Scratchpad. Scratchpad lets you do a lot of shit. It's like a miniature thing where you can check color comps. And I just really enjoy a lot of things about Sai. There's so much you can do with it. It's not nearly as limiting as Adobe Photoshop and Illustrator because it's all in one program. It's also a lot cheaper, and I believe the reason Saikra, and I don't mean to say anything bad about him, he's a wonderful artist and I do look up to him. But the thing that Saikra and me and my friends seem to think is that he was trained to use Photoshop. Not literally trained, but he started out with Photoshop, and that's why he's comfortable with it. I started out with Sai, and I became a lot more comfortable with programs like Sai. Like, you can use Sai with Toon Boom and a bunch of different softwares because of how many different types of files Sai can save. From my knowledge, Photoshop isn't nearly as compatible with other softwares. I mean, it probably is, but I guess I'm a little biased, I'll be honest. I love Sai, and when I purchased it, I just felt a lot better using Sai than I did Photoshop. I mean, Photoshop has its merits, but this video is about Sai, and the Art Rage Studio, and Sketchbook Express. But either way, this is just a quick little preview on Sai, and all of my work is done in Sai. I love using Sai. Honestly, it's one of my favorite programs to play around with. And there's so much you can do with it. It doesn't have all the photo editing things that Adobe Photoshop does, but but Photoshop's an editor. Sai is a program that lets you draw, paint, do all that stuff, and I just think it's easier than Photoshop. Much more intuitive. But you should always try things. Try them your own way. There are free trials of Sai. They expire after, I think it's either 30 or 60 days. There's also, I believe, free trials of Adobe Photoshop. Always give everything a decent chance. I always do. And I found that I didn't like Adobe Photoshop. A lot of artists that I know either use Photoshop or they use Sai. Like my good friend Sin, she uses Sai. Neither of us like Photoshop, but my friend Heather, who we're having a little debate with over her tracing stuff, uses only Photoshop and Illustrator. And our problem with Heather right now is that she's tracing other people's artwork for poses, and it's just getting under my skin. And me and Sin are about to go to our admins at college about it, but that's neither here nor there. We won't talk about that. Well, let's go on to the next program. We're gonna go into Art Rage, and let's see. Minimize that. Okay. Art Rage is a pretty interesting program. There's a lot of things you can do with it. You don't really get to make your own brushes, but it's a free program that comes with a Wacom tablet. I'm using a Wacom tablet right now. It's an Intuos pen tablet, and I'll be honest, it's not my favorite thing in the world. I'm still a much more physical media oriented person, but it's a very sensitive tablet, and it's a lot of fun to use. There's one thing I really do enjoy about this program is that these presets come with different textures, and the textures work with each other in very interesting ways. Like, this is the blur tool, and looks pretty. Airbrush and all that cool stuff. I love this program. I really do like this program. But it's not my go-to program. You can learn a lot with this sort of program, but there's a lot of different things, and I love these little things. Best part about them is whoosh. You can just play around with this for hours, and the best part is, I believe, if I can get it, we will go into, where's that? What's that? No. You pretty much have an unlimited canvas, except it gets a little laggy and picky. And all the brushes are pressure sensitive, just like the just like in Sai, brushes are pressure sensitive. I'm not a big fan of this program. It's not my go-to program. I just like playing around with it, with all the different cool little features. I like to import images occasionally just to play around with them. It's a fun program to play around in, and I don't get any work done in it, I'll be honest. Either way, this is Art Rage. Wait, yes, Art Rage. And it's free with Wacom tablets. But anyway, we'll go and into the next one. And this is a true unlimited, canvas program. And it has a lot of brushes, just like a lot of preset brushes, just like Art Rage did. But I just think everything in here is a lot cleaner. It doesn't give you the texture that Art Rage did, but it all depends on what you really like. This is a fun little tool. I like this little tool. And occasionally I'll come in here to edit things just to get them exactly how I wanted to get them. I enjoy using this program, but it's, again, not my go-to. And as you guys experiment with different programs, you're going to learn what your go-to is. And it's a lot of fun to learn what your real go-to is. Like for me, Sai picked it up really fast. These programs are fun to play around with, and you can do so much with them. Literally, the cool part about this program, I love this part of the program. You can go and, where is it? There it is. You can move the thingy and go like, but it won't like do the whole unlimited canvas. It'll do only what's on the screen. I really like this. It's so cool. It's a lot of fun. I zoomed in really far. But anyway, this program's fun because you got a lot of really interesting design elements. It is a completely unlimited space canvas, and I know a couple of artists that actually enjoy using this program. Like my friend Ashley, she's a art student. I'm not an art student. I'm just I'm a psychology major, and it's really interesting. But still, my art friends are my art friends, and we're close and stiff. Shin is a amazing artist, and I might link you to her DeviantArt account if I can find it in the video, and I'll probably do the same with Ashley. I'm not gonna link Heather's though, because I don't want to, cause uncomfortable and blah. Cause she is a thief. I consider her a thief. I don't like considering her a thief, but seriously, if you're gonna take somebody's art and just mess it up, I don't like that. It's not fair to the person that she stole the artwork from. She didn't give them any credit. And I really shouldn't be talking about this, but oh well. There's not much I can do about it. It's not my place to talk about it, but oh well. Really enjoyed if she actually gave some fucking credit. Excuse my language, but she never gives credit. Either way, this was my little thing about different programs I find very interesting. I'll be honest, my review of these programs is very biased. It's through my experience, and everybody has a different experience. I will tell you this though. I believe that everybody should give Photoshop, Sai, and these different programs, if they have access to them, a shot. Because you don't need the best tools or the most expensive tools to create wonderful art. Like, if you're in high school and all the art supplies you have are limited to colored pencils, and possibly not even colored pencils, just graphite pencils.